I wanna die. Hello, everybody. I'm finally here. Thought I retired because I took 2 days off of streaming. What? Yeah. So let's play the game, maybe. That sounds like something I would do. Oh, it's above him. You picked a good time to come in here and start meowing. I've been streaming for 2 minutes. Alright, 3, 2, 1, go. I gotta win Mooey and Curry. Alright. Why not feel so good? My stomach hurts. I am nauseous as fuck right now. I'm not gonna lie. But at the same time, if I don't stream this, I'm going to feel like even worse. So I just gotta do it, man. I just had to hit that start streaming button and fucking do it. Now, I make no promises for how long this stream will be. It might be like 1 hour long. Okay. Maybe I start feeling better and it's like 3 hours. I don't know. As of right now, I want to fucking vomit. Right? So as of right now, it's probably not going to be a long stream. If I start feeling better, it'll be a longer stream. I need to get a bad rank. Gotta remember that. Yeah, I won't push myself too much. See, it wouldn't be that big of a deal if I'd actually streamed for the past 2 days, but I haven't. If I had streamed yesterday or the day before, then I wouldn't feel as bad about taking tonight off. I mean, for one, it's already 9 o'clock, right? And the reason for that is because I felt like shit all day. And I was kind of just doing that thing where I was like, okay, let me just lay down for a little while, see if I feel better. And then I would get up and then be like, all right, we're going to stream. And then I'd be like, wow, I feel like shit. Let me sit down for another hour till I feel better. And eventually, you just realize that you're just not gonna fucking feel better. You realize you're just fucked. You're not gonna feel better, so it's either stream now or just don't do it at all. Because it's already 9 o'clock. So it's either I start now or I just don't do it. I would honestly rather stream for like 45 minutes than stream for 0 minutes. So that's what I'm gonna do. And maybe I'll feel better, you know, as I stream. But I'm gonna be taking it a little bit easy, okay? So I'm gonna be taking it a little bit easy. There might not be as much crazy commentary as there usually is, okay? So just cut me some slack for this stream. I'm doing it, okay? I'm doing it, Mom. I'm fucking working, Mom. Okay, so get off my back. Alright? I'm doing my best. Promise. Yeah, I feel like shit. Some tea or something soothing if you have some. I do have some tea, I think. I think I have some loose tea I could brew, but that would include getting up. Don't really know if I want to do that. Have I eaten today? Maybe that's what it is. No, that can't be it, because I've been feeling like shit the entire day. If I just started feeling like shit like an hour ago, then I'd be like, okay, maybe it's because I haven't eaten. But I was feeling like shit earlier, too. It's a little bit better than when I started the stream 5 minutes ago, I will say that. So maybe talking is just getting my mind off of it. No, the time for this category does not continue running when I'm resting or sleeping. This is a segmented speedrun, which means that when I'm done playing for the day, I'll save the game, and then after I save the game, I could pause the timer, right? And then tomorrow, fucking week, a month from now, I could come back, and as soon as I load that save again, I'll unpause the timer. So that timer is only counting game time. It's not a real-time timer. It's only counting game time, which is what a segmented speedrun is. So for those of you who don't know, there are a couple different kinds of speedruns. Not all speedruns are the same. So the most common speedrun, the one that most of you are most likely, the most familiar with, is called RTA. So RTA stands for real-time attack. And what that means is you start the timer when you start the game, you fucking end the timer when you're done with the game. There's no pausing. It doesn't matter if you walk away for 10 minutes and come back. The timer's not counting game time, it's counting real time. So if you walk away, go take a shit and come back, timer's running the whole time. Now for a speedrun that is this long, like 80 plus hours, obviously RTA is just not a viable way of doing things. So back when this category was created in 2013, everybody who was running it at that time came together and said, listen, we're going to make this a segmented speedrun. Which means it's judging off of game time only, done in segments. So I could do 2 hours now, 3 hours tomorrow, right? And it's not counting real time, it's only counting play time. No, nobody redoes any segments in Hundo. That is technically allowed, actually. It's technically legal to redo segments, but there's kind of this unspoken rule in Forbidden Memories 100% where you don't do that. You could technically, like, load your save, fight Rex, right? See if you win Beast Fangs. If you don't, reset the game without saving, reset your timer back however long it was, and then keep trying until you get Beast Fangs. Technically, you could do that, but like I said, there's like this unspoken rule where you just don't do that. I don't think there's anything specific in the rules preventing you from doing that, but there's always just been this kind of unspoken thing where you just don't do that in FM 100%. I guess technically you could, but realistically we probably wouldn't allow it on the leaderboards if somebody really abused it. But people have, I don't want to say abused it, but people have taken advantage of that at times. Like, for example, let's say at the end of this segment, right? Let's say I play for 3 hours, and at the very end of the segment, I'm like, alright guys, that was a good segment, but then I accidentally go back to the main menu without saving. You could technically just be like, okay, well, I accidentally lost my save file, so I'm just gonna bring the timer back to where it was before I started today, and it's technically legal. Yeah, you'd just be seen as a scumbag if you did it, and we would probably just not accept the run. I'm one of the people who gets to decide. I'm one of the people who gets to decide what speedruns go on the Forbidden Memories leaderboards. So if I saw somebody trying to abuse that, I would probably decline their run. Even though they didn't technically do anything that's because it's really hard to write a rule that explicitly doesn't allow that, right? Like, think about it. How can you write a rule that explicitly says that you can't do it? Because it's a segmented run, right? It's just a weird thing to write a rule for. Maybe there is a rule. I don't know. I haven't, maybe there's a rule preventing it. Nobody has, I'm surprised that no scumbag has come into the FM community just to try to fuck with us by doing that. Because pretty much in every single other category that has ever existed of Forbidden Memories, if there was some sort of rule that we accidentally forgot to add that would give people an unfair advantage, there's always been at least one asshole who would go and do a run and submit it, and then when we decline it, they would make a big stink saying, oh, it doesn't say that in the rules technically, and then there's a big fucking drama about it. But the hundo unspoken rule, I guess, is the one rule where that really hasn't happened. Nobody's really tried to be a scum about that, which is good. But maybe there is a rule these days. Let me check. View rules. There's a lot of rules. Timing begins when player hits new game and ends after the you win screen fades away after the player wins the last card or wins against the last duelist they need to achieve 100%. The player must unlock in the library all 689 cards that are possible. This does not include cards that are only unlocked in the library by purchasing them for 999,999 star chips, as these cards are considered unable to be unlocked in the library for the purposes of the speedrun. This pretty much means you don't have to get all the max star chip cards, because obviously that would not make for a good speedrun, considering it would take years just to get one of those cards, and there's like fucking like 10. So obviously, we're not going to have that in the speedrun. Anyways, the player must unlock all duelists in free duel. The glitch known as card duping and any form of two-player trading will not be allowed at any point during your run. Real time is irrelevant. That's the key word there. Real time is irrelevant. That's what makes it segmented. Since the run is segmented, pausing the timer is allowed. If so, timers are to be paused once save complete shows on the screen, and timer resumes once load complete is cleared from the screen. You may load the file in between segments to gather information, but you must exit the file without saving. All runs must have video proof in order to be validated. If using an emulator, only the following emulators are allowed, blah, blah, blah. Use of any other emulator will result in an invalid run. That's not Mooey and Curry right there. Save states cannot be used before or during the run. This means you may not use save states in order to reset for a deck. You are not allowed to open the disc tray at any moment while the timer is running. There's still more. Hang on. We have a lot of rules for Forbidden Memories. Use of turbo functionality on a controller is not allowed. And then rules for the Pocket Station. Runs that use the Pocket Station, this is kind of like a separate type of 100%. Nobody's really done it, but runs that use the Pocket Station can only be done on console. That's kind of an obvious one. Only one Pocket Station can be used in the run. You're allowed to use universal remotes during the speedrun. That's a Pocket Station thing, don't worry about it. All 722 must be obtained, blah, blah, blah. So technically, there is nothing preventing you from being a dickhead about this segmented rule. But if you did it, I would deny your run, personally, and everyone else would probably just think you're an asshole. So don't do it. Or I'll fucking destroy you. Yes, that's exactly right, Drowsy. Every single run that is on the leaderboards for 100% has followed that unwritten rule. Is card duping more of an exploit rather than a glitch? Yes, it's an exploit, it is not a glitch. Card duplication is an exploit, not a glitch. Big difference. Regardless, card duplication is banned in most categories, but there is like one category where it's allowed in pretty much, and it's like the true any percent category. No, it's any percent with duping, aka a category that literally nobody runs. There's been like 3 runs done of it ever, and then nobody ever ran it again because it's a shitty category that nobody cares about. It's like New Game Plus with extra steps. Only way you can implement a rule that previous segment resetting somehow put a minimum playtime. Yeah, that's pretty much why we haven't done it, Botman, because putting a minimum playtime would be kind of shitty. I feel like it's the kind of thing where we will figure out how to word it once somebody tries to abuse it, you know what I mean? That's kind of how the FM community has always been. Like, if there's some weird rule like that that's hard to write, but everybody kind of just understands it, then we won't really worry about it, but as soon as somebody abuses it, then we all, you know, all the moderators have to sit down and be like, okay, some dickhead ruined it for everybody, so now we gotta figure out how we're gonna write this, you know? But no dickhead has done that in, you know, almost 8 years, so that's fun. Share that I played a Run 15 card mod. I have a much newfound respect for all the times you had to sit there and SA tech packages for Megamorph and Bright Castle. Yeah, once you actually do it, you kind of understand it a little bit better. Yeah, fucking that guy's name that I don't know how to pronounce. Shafee? Whatever. Him. He has the record as of very recently. The record for 100% changed very recently, which is the only reason why I'm running it right now, is because I got knocked out of top 3 because of it. So, prior to that new record happening, I was actually in 2nd place for this category with a time of 88 hours. But then in the exact same day, right, there were 2 runs done that ended in sub 80 hours. One of them being the new world record by Shafee, another one by Tager Player that was like 78 hours or something, 79 hours. Which promptly pushed me from 2nd place to 3rd and then 4th, all in one day, which is really crazy for 100%. I'm really happy about that. You would think that I might be salty about getting knocked out of top 2, but 100% is one of those categories that isn't run very often. You know, it's vanilla 100%. It's not run that often, and it's even less often that the world record for it changes. So, two runs finishing in the same day that were both top 3, that's a very good day for the speedrun, because what I mostly care about is the speedrun evolving over the years and the times getting lower and lower and more optimized. Also, fuck yeah, Mui and Curry, let's go. That's really good. Okay, we're done there, finally. Fucking finally. Alright, we got Mui and Curry, so that garbage is done. Don't really like my Dragon and Thunder count, but we're just gonna have to live with it, brothers. Because I need to get this World Tournament fucking done. Where am I at? Probably like 449? Fuck. I tried to throw out a random number. I knew I had 400 the last time I ended. Farming so far is pretty good. Villager 1 went pretty well because I got the Dark Piercing Light and Mui and Curry, so that's fun. We're gonna see if we can finish up the World Tournament now. That would be preferred. If I can get the World Tournament done today, I'll be happy. I am actually feeling a good bit better just from talking and getting my mind off of how shitty I actually feel. So that's good. So this fucker can play 2200 Jirai Gumo. It's in Jupiter, so Stone D. I could make a 2100, but actually making the 2000 Stone D is going to be my best course here. So I actually can't do that, because then that's going to make Pumpkin, and that's going to make Curse, and then I can't put that on top of it. That would not work the way I want it to, so we are going to have to, I guess, just fuck myself, right? Yeah, we're just going to have to fuck myself. We'll just do this, call it a day, huh? It's actually an 8 on Jono, Matt. It's not a 6, it's an 8. Here is all of the places you can win Meteor V Dragon, in order from the highest drop rate to the lowest. Meadow Mage, it is a 20. right? After that, Jono 2, it is an 8. After that, Heishin 1/Heishin 2, both drop it, it's a 4. After that, Low Mountain Mage, it is a 2. Does every single duelist have at least one unique drop? I don't know. If you're asking if I'm going to be farming like at least one duel on every single person in the game, no. There's only a select number of people I'm actually going to be farming on. So I guess the answer to that would technically be no. But it's weird because I can also fuse cards, so that kind of puts a little bit of a wrench in that question, I'd say. It is not a 4 on Low Mountain, it is a 2 on Low Mountain. It is a 4 on the Heishins. Low Mountain is incredibly rare. I don't think in my 7 years of speedrunning this game, I don't think I've ever won Meteor B Dragon from Low Mountain Mage, except if I might have, like, one time I might have, like, just farmed him for a long time as a meme, like, outside of a speedrun, just to win it. Maybe I did that once, but, like, I've never actually won it in a speedrun, just, like, randomly. That's never happened before. Mainly, the reason for that is obviously, the 2 drop rate, but I've won plenty of 2s in my time. The biggest reason is just because you don't farm him at all for anything, ever. But then again, I've won a 1 from Low Forest Mage, and we never farm him, so, you know. Just how it goes. No, Metal Zoa is a 4 for 1. For 2, we don't have to win Metal Zoa in this speedrun. We can fuse it. So like I said, we don't only have to get the card itself. If you confuse the card, that also counts. So for example, just for example, Twin-Headed Thunder Dragon, right? I don't have to technically win a Twin-Headed Thunder Dragon. If I fuse one, I'm good. Like this, right here. I don't need to win an Ushioni as of right now, because I fused it, which means it's in my inventory. It's in my card library, which means it's done. Yes, as long as it's in the library. There are 4 ways to get a card to appear in your library. And making a card appear in your library is what we call obtaining a card. So if I say I want to win a card, that means I actually want to get it as a drop. But if I say that I need to obtain a card, then that means make it appear in my library. And there's 4 ways you can make a card appear in the library. You can either win the card, right? You can buy the card with star chips. You can fuse the card, or you can ritual summon the card, which means cards like Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon and Gate Guardian, I actually have to obtain, because you can ritual summon those cards. Therefore, I have to do it. A good example of the fusion is Black Skull Dragon. You can't win that, you can't buy it, you can't ritual summon it, but you can fuse it. Because of that, Black Skull Dragon is one of the cards I have to obtain in order for the speedrun to be considered complete. In some ways, it kind of helps me, because then there's cards like Metal Zoa, for example, right? Where you can win it, but it's a hell of a lot easier to fuse it and call it good. So it helps me in that sense, but then in a lot of other senses it hurts me, because now instead of only winning 1 Blue Eyes White Dragon and calling it good because, okay, I've obtained Blue Eyes White Dragon, now I need to win 3 of them because I need to do a ritual summon for Ultimate. If we didn't have to count fusions and ritual summons, then I wouldn't have to win 3 Blue Eyes, and that would cut a significant portion off the run. But I do. So. But if we didn't count fusions, it wouldn't really make sense, because then if we didn't count fusions and rituals, then the maximum number in your library would be lower, and obviously 100% should be making that number get as high as it can. And since there's no metric, there's no in-game metric that keeps track of how many cards you actually have versus how many cards you fused, and because of that, that's why both count equally. If there was some sort of metric that said, okay, you actually have, 50 cards, and then you have fused 40 cards for a total of 90. If it said, like, okay, you have 50 cards out of a possible 200, and you have fused this many out of a possible this many, then maybe we would actually have to go win Metal Zone and stuff. But because the game counts them equally, you have to follow what the game wants in order to make that number higher. And since it doesn't count any difference between fusing and actually owning the card, then that's why they count equally. And we can kind of... And it also creates more strategy, you know? Do I want to just fuse this card? Or can I just buy it quickly? Or can I just win it easily? You know, what do I want to do? If that wasn't a thing, then I feel like every single run of this would be a lot more boring. There'd be a lot less routing, I believe. Be a lot less Seto third, which I wouldn't complain about, but hey. Yeah, pretty much, Drowsy. Pretty much. Well, the remaining cards, so 722 cards in the game, right? 689 cards that you can actually obtain, which means there's what, 33 cards that are not obtainable. Now, those 33 cards, out of those 33, there are actually a couple of them that are just not obtainable at all, even if you hack the game, right, to get infinite star chips. There are still a couple cards a bunch of cards actually, that you would not be able to get even with infinite star chips. And that's because a lot of those cards were meant to be gotten on the Pocket Station, the Japanese PlayStation 1 add-on. But, believe it or not, there are still 4 or 5 cards that even with the Pocket Station and infinite star chips, it is still totally impossible to get it. There are some cards that are in this game that have been literally specifically programmed to not be possible anywhere, period, on any version of the game. That is epic. Yeah, Magician of Black Chaos is the best example. Magician of Black Chaos is legitimately unobtainable anywhere in any version of the game, even with infinite star chips, even with a Pocket Station. Magician of Black Chaos, just, you cannot get it, period. Same thing with the ritual that makes Magician of Black Chaos, Black Magic Ritual. Cards number 721 and card number 722 is Black Magic Ritual and Magician of Black Chaos. Both of those cards, nope. No version of the game. Which means no person who has played this game legitimately has ever gotten those cards, because it's not possible. Because Konami has a couple extra pairs of the 21st chromosome, if you catch my drift. Why would they do that then? I don't know. You'll have to ask them. I have absolutely no idea what they were thinking, in particular with Magician of Black Chaos. Like, what they were thinking putting that card on the cover of the game, but then making it like 1,000,000% impossible to get it in any version, right? There's plenty of cards that you can't get in, you know, the North American, whatever, FM. But they're obtainable in the Japanese version with the Pocket Station. But making a card that you can't even get with that, I have no fucking idea. Maybe it is maybe there is a way to get it with the Pocket Station, but it just hasn't been found yet somehow. I have no idea. But I'm pretty sure there's not. I'm pretty sure Generic Mad Scientist and those people have looked into the code to actually figure out that there's a bunch of cards that you just can't get. I could be wrong on that, and it could just be a matter of we haven't found the right fucking universal remote code that gives it to you, but I'm 99.99999% sure that is not true. And don't even bother asking about the whole universal remote thing. It's a thing with the Pocket Station, which is an infrared sensor, and you use universal remotes to fuck with the Pocket Station's infrared sensor in order to get different cards, and sometimes you need 2 pocket stations and like 2 universal remotes, and it's different depending on the brand of universal remote and all the different codes you could put. It's fucking fucked. It is not something you want to deal with. No thanks. It's so weird. I don't know. It's a whole thing. What's the difference in this vanilla mode? Nothing. Vanilla means normal. When I say that I'm playing vanilla, that means I'm playing the regular game with no modifications. That's what vanilla means. Vanilla just means normal. Unmodified, untouched. So right now I'm playing on a console. I'm playing on an actual PlayStation 2 with an actual regular disc of Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memories. No modifications, nothing. Vanilla doesn't technically mean no RNG minute. Vanilla just means that the game itself is normal. I could do vanilla with RNG minute because I'm not altering the game or anything. It's still the regular game, base game. But I'm not using RNG minute. I am not using RNG minute. But I could, and it would still be vanilla, but I'm not. But I could, but I'm not. But vanilla just means you're playing the base game with no mods. And RNG manip is not a mod or anything. It's not even a glitch. It's not even an exploit, really. It's not even a manipulation, technically. Kappa. It's so weird. Like, classifying RNG manipulation is weird because, like, you're not actually altering the game or how it works. You're not doing something that the developer... Like, you're not... It's not even like card duplication, which is... Card duplication is the developers put a roadblock in place so you can't duplicate cards, but there's a way around what the developers intended. RNG manipulation isn't even that. It's literally just taking advantage of what the developers already intended, which was they implemented a system of pseudo-randomness, which isn't true randomness, and we figured out what that randomness, what that fake randomness is, so RNG manip is just making it not random. It's taking advantage of the randomness system to make it not random. It's literally just, instead of starting a duel immediately, I count to 5 and then I press this to start the duel. It's like, I'm not really doing anything unintended. Anybody could start a duel on that frame by accident, you know? It's weird to classify. Which card out of the 689 is statistically the hardest to obtain? Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, probably. And the only reason that's true is because it takes forever to get all 3 Blue Eyes. Well, it could be a tie, I guess, between Gate Guardian and Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. But my money would probably go on Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon as the hardest overall to obtain. The High Shin farm is definitely longer than the Seto third farm, but the High Shin farm isn't just for the 3 pieces of Gate Guardian, it's for a bunch of other shit too. But the Seto farm is just for 3 Blue Eyes. So probably Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon because of all the fucking... You need to win 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons just to do it. And winning 3 Blue Eyes is fucking painful. Which is weird to say because the Blue Eyes White Dragons that you need to get... I mean... Gate Guardian could be it as well, really. Technically, Gate Guardian would be harder because in order to do Gate Guardian, you need 3 cards, and each of them is a 4. In order to get Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, you need to get 3 cards, but each of them is 26, which is obviously a much better odds to win a Blue Eyes, but you have to do it against Seto third, which means there are going to be a lot of duels where you don't even have a chance to get it, right? Because you need to get an SA POW just to have a chance at a Blue Eyes, and a lot of the time you're not going to be getting an SA POW. You know what I mean? Whereas when you're farming for the Gate Guardian pieces, you can pretty much 100% consistently get S or A POW. So you pretty much consistently have that 4 out of 2048 chance, but you don't consistently get the 26 chance. So it could be argued for either Gate Guardian or Ultimate, but it's one of the two for sure. Gate Guardian needs the ritual too. Yeah, well, so does Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. And neither of those rituals is necessarily harder to get than the other, because you need the cards that make them up anyway. There is no way to get Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon as a card on its own in this game. There is no way. In any version of the game. Japanese version, this version, there is no way to legitimately get a Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon as a single card. The only way you will ever get that card on your side of the field is with a ritual summon. There is zero other possible way according to the game's code. It's literally coded that way. There's no way around it. So we don't have a choice but to win 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons in order to do it, because there's no other way to get Ultimate. I'm a fan of the anime for sure. As far as the other games, I've only played 3 Yu-Gi-Oh games in my life. That would be this game, Duels of the Roses, and Falsebound Kingdom. In my opinion, FM is the best out of the 3, obviously. After that, I probably enjoyed Falsebound Kingdom the second most, and then after that, Duels of the Roses, which was okay, but not my thing. And those are the only Yu-Gi-Oh games I've ever really tried. If you had them, then you either cheated to get them with Game Shark or something, or you're not remembering correctly. I promise. It's legitimately not in the game's code. There's not a glitch that could make it happen or anything like that. The literal only way you would have had a Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon is by using Game Shark or some other cheating device, or you just didn't and you're just remembering wrong, which a lot of people remember incorrectly. Because I guarantee you, we've looked through the game's code a lot, and we know what's possible and what isn't. Not to mention, outside of looking through the game's code as much as we did, you know, we've also had literally tens of thousands of hours between everybody who's played. But yeah, it's not possible on any version of the game. And I don't mean to come off as rude by saying that or anything. A lot of people tend to get offended when they're like, oh, I had a Gate Guardian, or oh, I had a Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, and then I explain to them that it's not possible. A lot of people tend to get offended when I do that. It's not me just trying to be, you know, combative with you or anything like that. It's just legitimately not possible. I've had people be like, well, I know I had them, so maybe it was a glitch. And it's like, no, there is no glitch that just gives you ultimates. It just doesn't work like that. Trust me. Please trust me. Oscilla Hero's a good drop. I need Thunders. Yeah, then you definitely just have to be remembering them wrong. I mean, 2 people have it as a card. Seto Third and Nightmare have it as a card. But just because the AI has it as a card doesn't mean you can get it. There are tons of cards that the AI plays that you cannot get in any way, shape, or form. Gate Guardian is, well, other than Ritual Summoning, of course. Gate Guardian is another good example of a card you can't just get. Black Luster Soldier, another great card as an example of a card that you just can't get, but the AI can play it against you. Black Skull Dragon, another card. You cannot get that card. Pugum, Perfect Ultimate Great Moth, yet another card the AI plays that you cannot get as a single card. There's lots of cards that the AI play that you just cannot get, except for sometimes Ritual Summoning, like Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon and Gate Guardian. If you have 720 cards, then yes, the file is hacked. And again, I don't say that to sound like an asshole, but There's just no way. There's no way to get that number above 689 legitimately. Unless you're on the Japanese version. If you're on the Japanese version and you own a Pocket Station, then you could get that number above 689. But you could not get it to 720 even then. 720 is just too far. You could get it into the, like, maybe around 710 or 712. I forget what the exact number is, but definitely not 720. But that's only if you're playing on the Japanese version with the Pocket Station, which means you need a Japanese PS2, Japanese copy of the game, the actual Pocket Station, which was discontinued in 2002, and never released outside of Japan. A lot of shit that you would need. And even then you couldn't get it all. Yeah, every single time that somebody says they have one of those cards, it's either remembering incorrectly or Game Shark. Or Japanese version, but that people tend to not play the Japanese version if they're not Japanese. Just kind of tends to work out that way. Could be Rocket Gamer. It's one of the two. Either something was done to the save file to make it like modified, like cheated, or remembering incorrectly. And I don't think there's anything wrong with playing this game casually and using Game Shark occasionally. You know, if you want to play casually and just do your thing, I don't like, you know, is it technically cheating? Yeah, but if cheating in a game, technically cheating in a game makes it more fun for you, then go for it. If you're just playing casually, obviously in speedruns there's more rules. It's not just if it's fun, do it. But I don't think there should be any taboo. Do what you find fun, you know what I mean? Yeah, there's a bunch of mods of the game that also will have Ultimate as a drop, but the base game on a console with the regular disc, yeah. Yeah, it would have to be then. If you're definitely remembering correctly, then yeah, that would be the only way. I'm not necessarily going to go for the record in this category. I'm more so just trying to get back into the top 3. Right now I'm in 4th place for this category, but I used to be in 2nd place just like a week ago. But then 2 people finished their runs at the exact same time, and both of the runs were incredibly good, one of them being the current world record now, which pushed me from 2nd place to 4th. So this is just my attempt to get back into top 3. So my personal best of this category is 88 hours. The current time to beat in order for me to get back into the top 3 is like 79 hours and 40 minutes or something. So I need to cut off a little bit more than 8 hours in order to get back into top 3. And I would need to cut off like 13 and a half hours, maybe 14 hours to get record. So I'm not really going for record. I don't really care too much about getting record in this category. I never really have. I just want to be in top 3. There are 33 cards that you cannot get in Forbidden Memories. And when I say you cannot obtain them, which means you cannot win them, you cannot buy them, you cannot ritual summon them, and you cannot fuse them. If you could do any of those 4 things, then the card is considered obtainable. Because if you fuse a card, ritual summon it, buy it, or win it, it's in your library, and it's good to go. But there are 33 cards that you cannot get in any of those 4 ways. And I have a list of them. That command should do it. You can actually just do, yeah, that'll work. Yeah, that's the paste bin. So if you click on that link that Nightbot just posted, that'll have a list at the bottom. And it will tell you exactly what those 33 cards that you cannot get in any way, shape, or form are. Unless, again, you're on the Japanese version with a Pocket Station, then that list would be different. But assuming that you weren't, because most people didn't play on the Japanese version unless they are, in fact, Japanese, then that list will be accurate. But I don't remember all 33 off the top of my head or anything like that. You cannot buy Pokemon. No. There are cards that you could technically buy for max star chips, which is 1 million star chips. It's technically 999,999 star chips. But that amount of star chips, if you played for 8 hours a day, every single day, 7 days a week with no breaks, and you did perfect S-POWs against like Simon, it would still take you close to a year of playing 8 hours per day, 7 days per week, with perfect S-POWs every time. And that doesn't even really take into account the time it would take you to turn on the console every day, turn off the console every day. You could keep it on for a year maybe, but that also doesn't include loading transitions or anything like that. So, and plus most people are not going to be able to play FM just to farm on the same person over and over again as quickly as possible, being laser focused for 8 hours a day, 7 days a week for close to a year. So realistically, it's going to take years just to get to that amount of star chips, and that will allow you to buy one of those unobtainable cards. And there's a bunch of cards on that list that even if you had infinite star chips, you would not be able to buy because they don't even have a cost. They're listed as not NA, not applicable, which means you just can't buy them at all with any amount of star chips. Bunch of cards that count like that. I don't remember if Pug'em is one of them or not, but if it costs max star chips, it's not obtainable. That's how we consider it for the speedrun, because no human being has ever proven that they've actually gotten max star chips. There's not one human being on planet Earth who has ever gotten max star chips in this game without cheating. You know, using an emulator to speed up the game or something like that. Nobody has ever gotten max star chips without cheating. There have been people who have claimed to do it, but they have no proof, right? So you can tell me that you did it all you want. I've had people try to claim it. You didn't. No, I've played the game so much since You didn't. But I started playing when I was in the fucking womb, and I just have... You didn't, okay? You didn't do it. Just don't fucking lie. You didn't do it without cheating, okay? Nobody has ever done it. Because it would take so fucking long, nobody has done it, period. And nobody probably will ever do it. If you want to prove me wrong, feel free to, but I would recommend streaming it because I will never, ever, 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 ever believe somebody actually did it unless they actually stream themselves doing it. You take a picture of your game that shows max star chips, that proves literally nothing, right? Because I could do that right now in 5 seconds, right? It has to be done live. That's the only way. And nobody's ever done it. Alright, I haven't looked at chat, so sorry. I'm sure some kid somewhere has legit bought one of those cards. I guarantee you they haven't. It's just too long. Because like I said, no human being is going to play for 8 hours a day every single day for close to a year. And I'm not just saying play the game and have a good time. I mean just play the game, like you load the game up, you click on like Simon or Taya, like someone who's really weak so you could beat them quickly. Literally all you would do is start the game up, click on one of them, have a bunch of MBDs, and just, you know, mash X so you win the duel as fast as possible, and you just do that for 8 hours a day, every single day, 7 days a week, no off days, for close to a year. So realistically, if a human wanted to do it, it would take like multiple years of still being fairly dedicated, just not 8 hours a day, 7 days a week, no breaks dedicated. It would still take years and years of like actually having to focus on doing it every single day of your life. It's just not gonna happen. Sorry. But if someone wants to prove me wrong, you know, make a Twitch account and go for it. Stream it, or else no one will ever believe you, including me. Yo, Rocket Gamer, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. Sorry it took me so long to do it. I went on a little bit of a rant there. Really appreciate it. It says, thank you for being understanding and informative. I did have Black Skull Dragon and Pug'em too, so he definitely cheated. Yeah, definitely. I had three Guy the Dragon Champ, so that proves it. Yeah, Dragon Champ yet again. Another card. You confused Dragon Champ, but yeah. Yeah, that definitely proves it. But thank you. I really appreciate the support. My Pontiac is not gray, it's actually blue. If somebody... I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm just saying that nobody has ever done it, and nobody probably will ever do it. But again, if somebody wants to prove me wrong, feel free to be the person to do it. But yeah, you can kind of understand why we don't count those cards in this speedrun. We don't count it towards 100% completion because, again, and all that time that I just talked about, like the literal years it would take you of being extremely dedicated to just doing the same duel over and over again for years, that's for one card. One. Not all of them. That's not even for two. That is for one card. Just one. So, have fun. Yo, Charlie, thank you so much for the 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, sorry about that. Menuing. Thank you, Charlie, for the $4.99 super chat. I really appreciate it. Says, get that top 3 back, baby. Oh, I'm working on it, boyo. Remember somebody in my PlayStation gave up on a Megamorph because back then we don't remember, it's not max star chip. Yeah, Megamorph is like 10,000 star chips, which is definitely an obtainable amount. Definitely obtainable amount. It's super dumb to buy a Megamorph. I mean, I can understand, you know, back then people don't know where it is and things like that. You have to do S tech or A tech on Pegasus. That's really the best place to get it. But I mean, I can kind of understand that, yeah. Yeah, that's definitely in the realm of believability for sure. Could you beat this game without using free duel? Yes, people have done that plenty of times. Well, I wouldn't say it's been done plenty of times, but people have done challenge runs of that, yes. Pretty much what no free duel comes down to is you just win everything that you need in campaign. So for example, if I'm doing a no free duel run and I need to win Meteor B Dragon from Meadow Mage, all I would do is I would save the game right before Meadow Mage, I'd fight him in campaign, if I don't win MBD, reset the console, reload the save, fight Meadow Mage in campaign again until I win Meteor B Dragon. Once I win it, save the game, move on, do that to get a bunch of drops. Pretty much it's the same thing as free duel, except it just takes longer in between duels. Because in free duel you could just mash X to go back into the duel. In no free duel you have to reload the save. So that's why nobody really does it, because it's really boring, because it's pretty much the same thing anyway. You know what I mean? Well, each duel doesn't take 5 minutes on average. You could say that each duel would roughly take, if we included loading times and everything, maybe 1 minute and 15 seconds to 1.5 minutes per duel, you could count. So it's significantly less than that, but still far more than anyone is really gonna do. You know what I mean? But again, if someone wants to prove me wrong, feel free. I'm feeling a good bit better, I'd say, Farrell. Pretty happy about that. Oh, thank you, goodness gracious. I appreciate that. Yeah, that was like 8 or 9 months ago now. Everything turned out okay long ago. So, yeah, we're all good. Lots of people still watching the Easyscape video, though. So, but yeah, I appreciate it. Start a hundo run. Is there any specific starting deck you're looking to get before you actually stick with the run? Or does it not really matter much for this category? Yes, there is a specific starting deck I look for. Everyone looks for, Drowsy. Does it matter that much in the grand scheme of things? Not that much. But it could potentially save you 1 or 2 hours in the run. In an 80-plus hour run, that's not really the biggest deal. But, you know, taking an extra 15 minutes to find a deck to save, you know, potentially an hour or 2 later in the run, it's a no-brainer. So we do look for a specific deck. So there's only 2 things we look for in the starting deck for 100%. 1, it has to have Regeki. Like, that's a baseline requirement, no Dark Hole. If the deck has Dark Hole, doesn't matter what else is in it, you don't go with it. It could have 10 Dragons and 10 Thunders. Doesn't matter. If it has Dark Hole, not worth it. The second thing we look for is the equip. Now, there are 3 equips that you can start a 100% with. You could technically start it with anything, but there are 3 equips that are the best to start a hundo run with. Raised Body Heat, Horn of the Unicorn, or Follow Wind. You want to start with one of those 3 equips, doesn't matter which one, and then Regeki. Now, you could technically start with Dark Hole and some other equip, and still get 100%, right? You would lose a little bit of time, most likely. But, you know, it's not the biggest deal in a run this long. But, again, if you're doing a speedrun of it, that's this long, it's pretty much just free time save, you know? So you may as well do it. How many different starting deck possibilities are there? Billions and billions and billions. I'm gonna go to ISIS. Alright, for ISIS, the best move is this. It's not the highest attack card I could make, but it's the best for ISIS, because it has Pluto. That it was set to a fixed amount. There technically is a fixed amount. Yeah, there is technically, well, not technically. It's not technically. There is a fixed amount of decks that you can that can be started with, and that's because after a certain point, the frame counter will actually like wrap or back around. So eventually, the frame count, which is what determines your starting deck, will wrap back around to 0. And that, I believe, happens somewhere in the billions. So actually, the amount of possible starting deck combinations, if you just actually did the math on what the how many combinations you could make with all the cards that you could have, is actually much bigger than how many you can actually start with because the frame counter wraps back around. If the frame count did not wrap back around, there would be a lot more possible starting decks, but because it wraps around, it's capped at somewhere in the billions, maybe? I don't know. I forget. This information is known, I just don't know it off the top of my head what the number is, but yeah. Correct, Exodia is not possible. All of Exodia is not possible. Like, all of the pieces. You cannot get the legs. The legs of Exodia are not possible. Which means that you, as the player, cannot summon Exodia without cheating. The AI can. The AI can play Exodia against you, technically. It's incredibly rare, but the AI can play Exodia against you. You, as a player, cannot play all of Exodia. You can get the head of Exodia, which is called Exodia the Forbidden, and you can get the right arm and the left arm, but that's it. You cannot get the legs of Exodia. They are unobtainable cards. I'm not sure if... I don't think there's any duplicated decks. I know for... No, I don't think there's any dupe decks, Ricky J, no. There are decks that are extremely similar, as in, like, there's only one card different. We see that in RNG Minute. But, I don't think there's any 100% the same exact decks, no. No, the legs of Exodia cannot be given in the starting deck. None of Exodia can be in your starting deck. You cannot start with any piece of Exodia, especially the legs. So the legs are totally impossible. The head and the arms of Exodia, you can win them, but you cannot start with any piece of Exodia. Yeah, there's been like 3 people in the history of speedrunning this game that have gotten Exodia during runs. Fun fact, I actually RNG manipulated Exodia. I made an RNG manipulation to get Exodia against Haishin 2 on the second turn. So you start the duel against him, right? You play a card, end your turn. He plays some random card, he ends his turn. You play another card, you end your turn, and then you get Exodia. It's the second turn Exodia. And it is the only second turn Exodia in the first 100,000 frames. It is the only time that a second turn Exodia happens in the first that many frames. And it would never happen during a run either, because it's on frame 4062, I believe. So it could never happen like during an actual final 6 attempt, because the frame count will always be much higher than that. It could only technically happen in free duel, because there's no other way you would ever be able to hit that low of a frame that late into the final 6. But yeah, really cool stuff. No, there's no category for that street mover. I could do the RNG manipulation for Exodia right now, actually. It would probably take me like an hour, hour and a half to actually hit the manipulation. Because first I actually need to figure out how to do it on console. Like, I need to come up with the setup. Because I've only done it on emulator. Like using a frame advance to just hit the frame that I want. But I could come up with like a route to do it. Oh, well, if I did it on Haishin 2, then no, I would need to have him unlocked, which I don't, so yeah, never mind. Baby dragon. If you win with Exodia, it's pretty much an automatic S-POW rank. And it will say victory by Exodia. So typically there's 3 different things that it'll say at the end of a duel. There's victory by Exodia, victory by attrition, which is your opponent running out of cards. Winning by Exodia gives you an instant S-POW. Winning by it's pretty much an instant S-POW. Winning by victory of attrition, decking out your opponent, is an instant S-Tech. Pretty much an instant S-Tech, not necessarily, but that's a whole other technical thing. And then the one that you most commonly see is total annihilation, which is just winning the duel normally without either of those 2 things happening. Goodbye. Damn, Tato, nice. Ah, this is a good draw. Looks nice. What is the most powerful starting card you can get in terms of attack defense, not counting magic, traps, or fusion pieces? That would be, what's it called again? The 1600 Beautiful Headhuntress. Beautiful Headhuntress is the best attack monster you can start with, which is 1600. The highest defense is 1800 with Dragon Piper, this card. So this is the highest defense you could start with, and the highest attack is Beautiful Headhuntress 1600. I have too much information about this game in my brain. Yeah, RNG manipulation is super fascinating. I think the coolest thing about RNG manip to me is that it's just how the game works, right? You're not exploiting the game. It's not a glitch. It's literally how the game was meant to work. It's just you, like, casual players typically don't notice it because it creates the illusion of randomness, right? What frame you end a duel on is typically not something you're keeping track of, so it appears random to you. But once you know about it, and you know what frames drop which cards, now it's no longer random. Yeah, I know a good bit about this game, but that's what 7 and a half years, no, 7 years. That's what 7 years of speedrunning this game will do. Not 7 years of playing the game, 7 years of speedrunning the game. So that's what happens. I've been around for all of the discoveries, all of the different routes. Lots of fun, I will say that. Lots of fun. Loads of fun. I will try to lower the 111 eventually, but there's really no point in doing it at the moment. I will probably continue running that category when a new route is developed, which is a new route is being worked on. So A, when a new route is done, or B, when somebody is actually competing to beat my time, or somebody beats it. So if somebody starts grinding any percent again, and I think that they can actually take my record at any point, then I'll start grinding it again as well. Or if somebody takes my record, then I'll obviously go immediately back to it. But I mean, if there's no new route, and there's no competition, I don't really feel like doing it. There's really no point. Yeah, Nate looks like the person who's going to push me back into that category. But I mean, I've had the record for over 2 years now, and it's just about been uncontested. There has been people who have tried to beat it, and who have grinded runs for a little while without any success, but yeah. That 111 is going to be tough for anyone to beat. So yeah, not really motivated to go back yet at the moment. No real point. Is there something up with Water Dragon Fairy, or is it just an Aqua? It's just an Aqua. It's actually a female as well, Water Dragon Fairy. It counts as a female and an Aqua. Its regular type is just Aqua. Obviously, female is not, like, technically a type, a full type. It's a subtype. But yeah. So I could put a rock on Water Dragon Fairy to make mystical sand, but it does not count as a dragon. If that's what you were wondering. Can be beaten. Why don't you prepare for it? At any moment your time can be beaten? No. No, at any moment my time could not be beaten. Nobody has been grinding it. Nobody else has done that speedrun for a while. So if anyone does start doing the speedrun, they're not just going to be able to take it on their first run. It's going to take a little bit of grinding before they can get up to the skill level to the point where beating it is even possible. And by then, I'll already be back into it. And I want somebody to take it. That's the whole point. I want somebody to take the record from me. That's the whole point of speedrunning. I want somebody to take my record that stood for over 2 years now. I don't need to prepare for it. I can get back into it rather quickly at this point. I've grinded it so much. Once, like, literally nobody on Earth right now is doing that speedrun. There is not a human being on Earth right now who is doing that speedrun. When that changes, I'll get back into it. But nobody's doing it right now. Nate said he's thinking about getting back into it at some point. So once Nate starts doing attempts, then I'll consider going back to it. But there's literally no point in grinding it again because it's not fun. I have zero motivation to go back to it. if it's a category that has no competition. Or if there's another discovery, like I said. If a new route is created, then I will also go back to it. That's the only other way. But I'm not just going to go back to it for the hell of it again. Not after the 111. When it was when I had the time at 119, I went back to it for the hell of it because I knew I could improve that 119 a lot. The 111 is different. That run is really fucking good. So I'm not just going to go back to that for the hell of it. I'm going to go back to that when there's either competition or there's a new route that will save more time. But I'm not going to grind out a dead category. It's just pointless. Yeah, I got Mooing Curry near the start. Yeah, the run could definitely be faster, that 111. Yeah, I could definitely make it faster. It's going to be hard as fuck to get it faster because the run was really good. But I could definitely improve it. It would take a lot of grinding, a fuck ton of grinding, but it's definitely improvable, yeah, absolutely. It's not optimized 100% yet, no. I mean, pretty much no speedrun on Earth is absolutely perfect. I mean, there's obviously some, but you know what I mean. But it's going to be hard as fuck to beat. It's going to be hard as fuck to come close to. But, yeah. I ask you, what is your grinding pattern for speedrunning FM 100%? What do you mean grinding pattern? Think you know every card obtaining rate? I don't know. No, I don't know everyone. I know all the important ones, yeah. I know any card that you would really want to get, like during a normal playthrough of the game, I probably know where the best place to go for it is. But there's plenty of cards I don't know off the top of my head. You know, cards that I don't really give a shit about. There's plenty of cards that I need to get in this run that I don't know off the top of my head that I'll need to look up at some point. But most of them I have down. Everything that's important enough. Good night, Popnan. Thanks for hanging out. Runs, brother. I subbed because of that. Gotta be honest. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Jose. I really appreciate it. Behegan, more like Behegan, out of my sight, dick. Look at this piece of shit. Literally fat lard. Reminds me of me. Ew. When is the next live? I don't know. Probably tomorrow. I stream pretty much every day. Now, I did just take 2 days off out of nowhere, and I apologize for that. The only reason I took 2 days off randomly, what appeared to be randomly, is because my friend Super, he got pretty much got a new gaming PC, and we haven't played games like Rust or Overwatch in a long time together, so I just spent the last 2 days playing a lot of those games offline. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, back to work today, and I'll probably continue doing this tomorrow and have a good time. Usually I'll do a stream every single day. If I'm not gonna do a stream, then I'll say something about it somewhere. Duel versus Sebek. Don't have him unlocked, and even if I did, no. There's no point in farming Sebek. I mean, I might have to do a little bit of Sebek later to get a couple cards that cost a lot of star chips. Like Pendulum Machine. But outside of that, really no point. Can you beat this game without using Twin-Headed Thunder Dragon in vanilla? Yes, I have done it multiple times. Many people have done it multiple times, including myself, many times, really. Oh, okay, I get you, Alpalban, my bad. Yeah, lots of people drop Zoa in the final 6. In fact, pretty much everybody in the final 6 drops Zoa. I don't know off the top of my head where the highest drop rate is. Probably like Sebek or Neku would be where you would want to go, yeah. But lots of people dropping in the final 6. Pretty easy card to get. Yeah, it's only going to drop on SA POW. Hey, cool, I got an SA POW, also known as the rank I did not want to get. Fuck. I guarantee you, if that was a B rank, I would have won, like, fucking Dragon Treasure or something. Yeah, you'll want to SA POW them when you do get there, though. If you don't have Final 6 unlocked and you really want Zoa for some reason, you could also get it against Martise, which is the high desert mage. But it's not the best chance. And you would also have to SA POW him, but probably not worth doing that. Just go to Meadow Mage and get some fucking Skull Knights, mate. What am I farming for at the moment? I'm just trying to get a stronger deck. So I'm just really looking for dragons, Dragon Treasure, Widespread Ruin, any of those 3. Any dragon, Dragon Treasure, or Widespread Ruin. That's what I'm looking for off of Isis. At some point, I'll probably go to Pegasus to try to get Acid Trap Hole if I don't get a Widespread, because I need at least 1 trap I can activate. And, then I'll probably start doing Atex. I probably am not going to start doing any of that today, because it's still going to take a while for me to get my Dragon and Thunder count up. Right now, top priority is getting Dragon and Thunder count higher, so I can make more twin-headeds and stuff like that. After that, we'll put priority into getting a trap if I don't already get one. And then after that, the priority will be getting Megamorphs and Bright Castles and shit like that. And then after that, we'll go over to Jono 2nd, try to get Red Eyes. After that, we'll go to Meadow Mage, try to get 3 MBDs. After that, we'll go to Hai Shin and stay there for the rest of eternity. And then after that, we'll go to Seto 3rd and stay there for the rest of eternity. 2 eternities. Long time. Do some extra fusions. I want to make sure that I'm going to get a bad rank here. How much for a Crimson Sunbird only run? $1,000, because I've done that before and it's not fun. I have done a Crimson Sunbird run. Like a no twin-headed Thunder Dragon run that used Crimson Sunbird instead. And it wasn't fun. So yeah. Well, if I do it in 15 card mod, then I'll bring it down to $500. How's that? If you want it done in vanilla, it's gonna be $1,000. If you want it done, if it's okay for me to do it in 15 card mod, the Sun Chicken run, like no twin-headed Thunder Dragon with Crimson Sunbird as the main card, I'll do that for a $500 donation. Single donations I'm talking about, not totals. So that should kind of convey to you how little I actually want to do that, because I know how bad it is, because I've done it. I've done it before, and it's not the best. It's not the best. Yeah, no, Keith does not drop Zoa. That is correct. He does not. Loved this game as a kid, despite completing the story to say never won a Blue Eyes White Dragon. Thanks for keeping the game alive. Thank you, Aerobot, for the support. My last duelist used copies of his deck, giving cards a high level. I hated playing against flames over his heart instead of Gucci. Hell yeah. Doop-a-doop-a-doop. Summon Skull-based no twin-headed run, on the other hand, is pretty fun to watch. Yeah, that was a good one. That was a really good run, actually. Finishing how I did. First try, final 6 and everything. That deck was really good. I was pretty happy with that run. NGL. Hit that vape, bro. Hell yeah. I hate doing that. I absolutely hate not holding in the vape for any amount of time just so I could, like, oh, look at the big cloud. Look at the cloud, guys. Look, I'm 99% of people who use a vape. I need the big clouds, bro. That's 99% of people who vape. The other 1% who just want it for the nicotine, like me, actually hold it in like, you know, a fucking human being and aren't an asshole. Which I am, but not in that way. See, that's how a human being vapes. See? No big cloud or anything, right? Because I actually absorbed, you know, I absorbed it into my lungs to get the nicotine into my bloodstream. Which is the whole point. If the juice tastes like shit, I don't want it. Yeah, I agree with that. Obviously. Who wants shitty tasting juice? No fusion run. Been there, done that. I've already done a no fusion run. It was fun. It was not as hard as you think it is. At least not with 15 card mod. If you do a no fusion run with 15 card mod, it's not as hard as you might think it is. It doesn't take as long as you think. Now in vanilla, like what Zur did, fuck that. Fuck that. I mean, it's literally the same thing I did, except longer farming. Which isn't really that fun to me. But the exact concept and route is pretty much the same. No use Garvis? If I draw the cards to make a Garvis, I will, but there's really no point in putting cards into my deck just to make Garvis. I can just make Twin-Headeds and Flame Cerberuses instead. Except for right now, because this hand is poopy. I would like it if he played an Umi. That would be good, because then I'm probably going to draw a dragon, which will get powered up by the Umi anyway. Thank you. Now I just need to draw the dragon. Now give me the dragon. That a girl. Do you think I can beat the final 6 with 2 MBDs, 1 Dark Energy, and 1 Regeki? Yeah, absolutely. That's more than enough to beat the game. Run where you can only win the duels using sparks. Gross. No thanks. Yeah, Swords of Revealing Light is pretty much the best card in the game, kind of. Like, obviously, Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon or something is going to be better, but Swords is the best magic. I can tell you that much. It's easily the best magic. If you offered me 1 Megamorph or 1 Swords of Revealing Light, I'd pick a Swords any day of the week. And pretty much anyone who knows anything about this game would do the same. Swords of Revealing Light is by far the best non-monster card in the game. Like, by far. It's on a completely different level. Which just makes it all the shittier. Because you can't actually just get a Swords of Revealing Light card. You can fuse it, but the fusion is a 3-card fusion. Which means you could only actually have 1 fusion in your deck at a time. And the cards to get that fusion are really dumb to win. And then you would need to draw them, which is even harder, and yeah, not worth using it. But if you could get it as a single card, too good, brother. Yes, the Swords of Revealing Light makes it so your opponent cannot attack for 3 full turns. Which is fucking overpowered as shit. Trust me, it's stupidly overpowered. When we do runs of randomizer with this, where you can win any card against anyone, potentially, when we find somebody who drops swords, that becomes like the main strategy the moment we find it. Because it's just so good. That's 3 full turns that you could do whatever you want for. And then if, let's say you have like 1 or 2 Regekis, or a Regeki and a Crush card, then on turn 3, after you've played, you know, a bunch of Twin-Headeds and shit, You just Regeki them. All their monsters are gone, you can attack freely, and you win. Doesn't matter what card they play. They could play 3 ultimates. Doesn't mean anything. So yeah, it is stupidly overpowered. Which is probably why you can't get it as a single card, because it's just... If you could get swords relatively easily as a single card, like if you replace swords with Megamorph in this game, like you could win it from Pegasus at a 64, then this game would just become Swords Fest. That's all it would just become swords every run. That would be the main card, and everything else would matter much less. Swords of Revealing Light is technically obtainable in vanilla, but it's not a card that you could, like, that you can get as a single card. You can fuse it, but it's a 3-card fusion, and the cards required for it are a real big pain in the ass to get, so it's never, ever, ever... And then even if you did get them, you would have to actually draw them in order for them to be, you know, worthwhile. So you'd have to draw all 3 specific cards in your deck just to fuse at one time, and it's not worth it at that point. But yes, I will be fusing a Swords of Revealing Light at some point during this 100%. Because it's required, obviously. But it's Spellbinding Circle plus Spellbinding Circle plus Dark Piercing Light. Because the actual fusion is Shadow Spell plus Dark Piercing Light. But see, the thing is, you can't get Shadow Spell as a single card either. The only way to get Shadow Spell is by fusing Spellbinding plus Spellbinding. So in order to do swords, you need to do Spellbinding plus Spellbinding to get the Shadow Spell plus Dark Piercing Light. So it's a 3-card fusion, which means Dark Piercing Light isn't terribly difficult to get. It's really the Spellbindings that are annoying to get. And even once you get them, you're only going to have 1 possible swords fusion in your entire deck, because you can only have 3 Spellbindings potentially, and if you're using 2 of them just to fuse at once, well, that's it. You only have 1 left, and that's not enough. So yeah, it's unfortunately not worth it, but yeah. There's a bunch of people who drop Spellbinding. I'm pretty sure the best place to get it is Meadow Mage, A-Tech. So Spellbinding only drops on S-Tech or A-Tech, which already makes it annoying. So yeah. Plus you gotta win 2 of them, even more annoying. You can win it from a bunch of people. You can win it from A-Tech Mai, you can win it from A-Tech Nightmare, you can win it from A-Tech Meadow Mage. There's a bunch of places in the game you can get it. As far as I know, the best place is Low Meadow Mage A-Tech. I'm pretty sure it's like a 64 or something. It's the same drop rate as Megamorph from Pegasus, but you have to win 2 of them. So yeah, big pain in the dick hole. The woman after Pegasus can drop this card. You're talking about Isis? She might drop it on A-Tech, maybe. But if she does, it's not the best place to get it from. But it might be possible there. I'm not sure off the top of my head, but it sounds like it might be. I don't know. But if it is, it's a low drop rate. Not worth it. Like I said, if you do want a Spellbinding, I would just recommend going on Low Meadow Mage A-Tech to do it. Give me the dragon. Oh, you oh, never mind. That's fine. Never mind. I was about to call Isis a bitch, and while she is a bitch, I'm okay. Yeah, it's sad that Swords is that big of a pain in the ass. If it wasn't, then this game would be a lot different, let me tell you. If Swords was somewhat easier to get, then this game, the routes, They would pretty much revolve around it because, like I said, Swords is the best non-monster card in the game, and it's not even close. That's the thing. It's not even like a close race, you know, between Megamorph and Swords. It's not. It's Swords. It is like many levels above everything else. It's like Swords, then a couple blank pages, and then everything else. Like, that's how good Swords is. It's just dummy good. Swords is a ridiculously difficult card to balance. So there's a bunch, that somewhat new Forbidden Memories mod, FM Reimagined. In that mod, Swords of Revealing Light was such a balancing issue because no matter what he did with Swords, if it was obtainable as a single card, it was the strat, period. Doesn't matter how fucking rare it was. If it was obtainable, it was a problem. So he literally had to remove Swords from the game just to make the game balanced. That's how good it is. If that card is obtainable in any way, no matter how rare, it's just that fucking good that it just becomes what you base the whole run around. It's like, it's stupid. It's so good. Yeah, it's literally like 15 cards you get to draw without your opponent responding. Add in like an extra Regeki or a Crush card or something, and it's like insta wins potentially. Like it's so good. And then if you get multiple swords, it's like fuck. Because the thing about getting swords is that if you have 3 swords, your deck doesn't really even have to be that good to win. You could beat Seto third playing 3 Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragons with nothing better than like fucking Skull Knights and Twin Headeds if you had a single swords and a Regeki. Like, it's just so disgustingly overpowered that if you ever make a mod of FM, the best thing to do is to just keep it how it is in the vanilla game, where it's that shitty fusion that nobody wants to use, or remove it entirely, because there's just no way to balance a card that powerful. Oh, that sounds so good, Feral. Fuck. Kaiba BCD to 30. Oh, God. The game would be so different. So different. Hello, Mr. 100 Man. I'm doing good, Super. Oh, yeah. I know. It's just so good. And the good thing about Swords is that it's good no matter when you draw it. As long as you are still alive, like if you draw swords at all, it right then and there, it's so useful. Like, it doesn't matter. You could draw it at any point in the duel, and it's just as useful. Because the moment you draw it, you're no longer taking damage. That moment you draw it, you're not taking any more damage. You could have 100 life points left, but if you draw swords, you're good, pretty much. It's just obscene. I'm just trying to get a stronger deck, Super, so I'm on Isis just looking for dragons, Dragon Treasure, Widespread, that type of thing. Maybe an Umi or 2. I was able to get my Mui and Curry at least, so that's fun. Basically a fake trap that lasts 3 attacks. I don't know. I would have to think of a way to change it, but as Sword stands, there's literally 0 way to balance it. You either remove it, or you keep it the way it is. Maybe, see, like I was gonna say, like, make it a 2-card fusion and make the 2 cards somewhat difficult to get, but even then, that's 3 swords you could potentially fuse, and even that's probably too much, because you have to remember, drawing swords, a lot of the time, if you draw swords, it's insta-win. A lot of the time. Not 100% of the time, but most of the time, even if you have a shitty deck, swords is like almost an insta-win. Like most of the time. It's just so stupid. Yeah, if you made swords only last like 2 turns, that would kind of rein it back in a bit. Maybe if you made it so swords is a 2-card fusion instead of a 3-card, and you made it only last 2 turns, that might be balanced enough at that point to actually have in. Oh yeah, with magic locking, yeah, it's God. If you did that, Alpalapan, then I would say... I mean, it would still be really good at that point. I don't know. Because even then, you have all these Regekis that are already making your deck better on their own. But if you manage to draw 2 of them, you pretty much have an insta-win. But I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, there's a fusion for swords. Spellbinding Circle plus Spellbinding Circle plus Dark Piercing Light. Doesn't affect 3k and above. Well, then it would just become completely useless. For the most part. Because, I mean, the main difficulty is the final 6. And if everybody pretty much on the final 6 is going to be playing 3k plus. Which means swords would be useless on the final 6. And if swords is useless on the final 6, then, well... pretty much not a good card. Pretty much, if a card can't be used on the final 6, then it's probably a shitty card. Ooh, graphical glitch, me likey. Spellbinding plus Spellbinding makes Shadow Spell. The actual fusion for swords is Shadow Spell plus Dark Piercing Light. The issue with that is that Shadow Spell is, again, a card that you can't get on its own, so you have to fuse the Shadow Spell. So it's Spellbinding plus Dark Piercing Light. Yeah, Eldine's a cool card. Be likey. No, swords cannot fail. What happens if you use swords when they're swords already? It just resets the timer. Like if you have if there's like 2 turns of swords remaining and you use swords again, it'll just replace the swords that are there and restart it back to 3. Can you imagine if using multiple swords just added on? So like if you draw 2 swords at the beginning, you just end up having like a fucking 5-turn freeze. That'd be pretty epic, if you ask me. Not like it would matter anyway, it's already pretty much an instant win. Do you have any videos where you're explaining the main strat and what you're looking for as you're speedrunning? First time watching a stream and I'm intrigued, grew up at this game. I don't have any videos explaining that, but I did write a really long guide to speedrunning this game, but... I mean, there's a lot of stuff I need to update and add and stuff like that, because I wrote it years ago, but it's still a really good starting place, I would say. If you go to the leaderboards on speedrun.com, / Yu-Gi-Oh! FM, and you go to guides, you'll see the one that I wrote by GFC. I would recommend using that as a starting spot if you want to read something like that. I haven't made a video or anything. I do plan on eventually making a video like series going through a regular speedrun of this game. As far as 100% goes, no, I haven't done anything for this category, but for regular runs, yeah, I've done that guide. I would recommend taking a read through it, maybe playing along with it. Definitely check out the bottom section that has a lot of links to useful fuck you resources. Can you invoked a summoned skull? Don't know what you're asking, but I can fuse a summoned skull. Summoned skull is not a card you can win, you can get on its own, so I can't just have a summoned skull in my deck as a single card, but you can fuse summoned skull. It's embryonic beast plus time wizard, or you could do job change mirror plus any other fiend. Mostly any other fiend, you know what I mean. Hardest card to win on this run? I don't think there's any... There's no single card that is, like, the hardest. There's a bunch of cards that are, like, equal, which is pretty much everything from Shin. There are a bunch of 4 out of 20, 48 drop rates, but there's no singular most difficult card to obtain. Maybe Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, if we're just talking about obtaining. It would be, mathematically, it would probably be Gate Guardian, because all of the pieces are 4s and you need 3 of them. Realistically, it's probably, in my opinion, Ultimate. Even though the drop rate for the 3 Blue Eyes is higher, farming Seto Third to get 3 of them is just more of a pain in the ass. So they could be considered equal, or you can make an argument for one or the other. But if we're just talking about obtaining in the library, then either Gate Guardian or Ultimate for sure. But if we're just talking about what's the single hardest card to get as a singular card, like win, there's no answer. Really. Alright, Ricky J, take it easy. Have a good night. Probably stop soon as well. Not yet, but soon. Turtle Tiger, more like fuck you. Got him. Not very rare at all, Thunder Daniel. They're pretty easy to get. In the grand scheme of things anyway, both of those cards are pretty damn easy to get. I put it in Venus. Could it be because I am stupid as fuck? Please kill it. I deserve it. Thank you. I deserve it. Punish me, Isis. Punish me for my fucking stupid misplay. Yes, then I don't draw anything. I deserve this, chat. This is what I deserve. Never forget that. Yeah, Metal Morph again is quite easy to get. Yes, then Umi me to fuck me harder. Now the last thing I deserve is not drawing a Thunder here. I deserved this. This is what I deserve for making that mistake. Poggers, Mystical Sheep number 1 Pog. Pog, 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 pog. Welcome, Majdi. Welcome, name. I honestly, I think I deserve a loss here. I think I deserve a loss against Isis for that stupid mistake in the beginning. Oh no, you know what? I deserve a win, but I deserve to get swords. That's what I deserve. And I think pretty sure that's what I'm gonna get too. Give me what I deserve, Isis Senpai. Hey man, I made a mistake. I deserve this. Look at this. I'm not trying anything. I absolutely deserve. I mean, I can kill that. And I feel bad that I can kill it because I shouldn't be able to. This is when I deserve the swords, I'd say. This is what I get for making a mistake, chat. You see what happens if you make a single mistake? You make one mistake in this game, and it could mean the difference between winning in 2 turns and losing the duel after like 20. So, this is what I get for making one goddamn mistake. I think I deserve it. I should have been swords there, but I wasn't. But I think I will be. I have faith that I'll be swords for my incompetence. Let's see if I get swords here. If this is 2600 defense, okay, no, I'm probably not gonna get swords. Sad. I deserved it, but whatever. I'll take what I can get. Poggers. Swords? Hey, I deserved that. Thank you. GFC play Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memories in the cart. Don't know what that means. Yeah. Yeah. But I do know that I deserve what is happening right here. Ooh, yes. Fucking destroy me, Isis. That is definitely not a Poggers move. That is an anti-Poggers move. Oh yeah? Double Umi. How about that, bitch? Oh shit, I have 4 cards left. Anti-Pog. I should still win, actually. Yeah, swords is over now. Unless that's like... Yeah, no, I still win. How could Isis not pick up that W? That should have been a hot W for her. Instead, it's a giant L. Super Umi. Worst type is insect. Easily, I would say. Or maybe insect or like beast warrior maybe. I don't know. Probably insect, I'd say. Reptile and fish are definitely not the worst. Because reptile you can at least make soul hunter, and you can make snake yashi, which could come in handy for pumpkin. And fish at the very least has some low level fusions like fish plus warrior to make a 1250 wow warrior, or fish plus Hashin engine or rainbow flower to make an 1800 7-colored fish, or you could do fish plus a zombie to make an 1100, or you could do fish plus machine, I believe it is, to make a 1400 Mizerazume or whatever it's called. So yeah, not fish. Not reptile, probably insect. I don't know, Dagnair. I'm not sure. I don't think that Tiger Axe fuses with anything to get Axe of Despair. I could be wrong on that. I probably am wrong, actually, but I don't know the fusion off the top of my head. This is poopy, yes. But I gotta do what I gotta do. Not bad, super. Then I guess all I need is the Tiger Axe, huh? Nice. Fusion. Correct, Chaos. That is correct. No, it's just Bear Trap. Secret fusion. Yeah, that's correct, Chaos. It's Tiger X plus Bear Trap. Yeah, Tiger X has some glitched fusions for Cocoon. I believe, yeah. Tiger X is a weird card. Yummy, Pharaoh. I'm gonna have a spicy Italian sub tonight, because I bought one earlier. Because, yeah. And then tomorrow night, I'm going to have homemade chicken parmesan. Parmesan. Oh, I wish I was not sick. My belly hurts. Oh no. I've been a lot more talkative than I thought I was going to be feeling this sick. It was really bad when I started, and then for a while it was a lot better, and now it's getting a little bit worse again. Arthur, I fuck your mom, and she's bad. Dickhead. You are a disgrace to Brazilians everywhere, and your mother sucks my cock in hell. Someone translate that to BR language and let him know. Thanks. Yes, in hell, which is where I am promptly going. But it's okay, because I will have his mother to suck me off in there. Someone translate into Brazilian or Portuguese and tell Arthur that I'm going to drill a hole into his mom's head and then skull fuck her. Let him. I don't know how you would translate that, but figure it out. Thanks, chat. Appreciate it. What is he saying? Pharaoh, he called you a cuckold disgrace. Dagnair, it's Tiger Axe plus Bear Trap. It makes Axe of Despair. I don't know what you are going on about constantly. I don't know why you keep saying this whole fucking invoked Tiger Axe shit. It's Tiger Axe plus Bear Trap. It makes Axe of Despair. Congratulations! It's not a secret. Relax. Hey, welcome, James. Need some advice? Can you help me out? I can to the best of my ability. If I really look like the type of human being you would want to follow advice from, then I would recommend taking it with a grain of salt. But yes, if I can, I will. If I can't, I won't. That's my motto. I guess. I don't know. Invocado. Brrr. That's how I read it. Whew. I'm honestly thinking about streaming, so could you give me some tips on how to get started? Because I'm nervous about doing it. Tips about streaming. Even if you have no viewers, still commentate everything that you're doing. Pretend like you always have hundreds of people watching and always commentate and talk even if you have 0 viewers. Because if you don't and you kind of just sit there silent, waiting for somebody to come in, somebody's going to come in, they're going to see that you're silent, and they're going to leave before you even have a chance to start talking. So don't stress about viewer count too much. Do it because you actually enjoy doing it, not because you have any sort of dream of making it big. Don't start because of that. Start because you just think it would be a fun thing to do. Talk is, you know, talk, regardless of how many viewers you have. And, yeah. I don't really have any tips outside of that, unless you ask for something more specific, then I might be able to help you more. Ready for this? Double fusion. Bam! Bam! 2 fusions to get a 1200 pog. So how are the pierogies, Farrell? What kind of pierogies were they? Are they like, just like potato and onion, or cheese, or what do you got going on? On the fence about it for the past couple of years. I had a channel before and I got those with the phone for streaming. Your best bet. Seems like a lot more fun. It is a lot of fun, I will say that. Not having to worry about editing or anything like that. It's a lot more fun in my opinion, yeah. Regular fucking cheese? Nice. I prefer potato pierogies, like potato and onion. Beautiful. I'm not a big fan of like cheese and potato. Can I stop winning Behegan? I'm getting very pissed off. Because every time I win a duel, I have to look at this fat fuck. And I have to do that enough when I look in the mirror. So, can I please not have to fucking look at him anymore, please? Thanks. Yo, Majdi101 with the $10 donation. Thank you so much. Holy shit.
$10 donation.
I really appreciate that. Thank you.
101. Here is a little something for another Italian sub.
Thank you.
Thanks for making me enjoy the game. You make awesome content. Stay safe.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate it. You stay safe too, but thank you so much for the support. Wow. Thank you so much. Honestly, I really, really appreciate that. It was very nice. Thank you. There is no such thing as a secret fusion, no. There are glitch fusions, which are fusions that the developers did not intend to be in the game, but they work because of a coding error. And all of the glitch fusions make Cocoon of Evolution. Again, because just, I guess, the code for that card in particular is fucked up. I don't know the exact reason behind it. But there are glitch fusions, but there's no secret fusion. And if you keep spamming that, just don't keep spamming it, please. It's getting annoying now. Thank you for the happy birthday as well. I'm probably butchering your name, so I apologize for that in advance. But thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Yeah, Pharaoh, it happens. Feels bad, man. Is Cocoon only available... Oh shit, what am I gonna do with this? Through glitch fusions? No, right? You can... Is it? Just glitch fusions? It might be just glitch fusions. I don't actually... I'm kind of drawing a blank on that question. I don't know why I'm blanking out on that question. Let me check really quick. Yeah. The only way to do it is that, yeah. I believe so. Yeah, that is. Doing a glitch fusion for Cocoon is the only way, actually, yeah. That is true. Why do I hate GDQ? I would rather not get into it in super long detail at the moment, but I generally won't support GDQ because I don't like how they're running the events these days. I think they're being overtly strict, banning people who don't deserve to be banned for extremely small offenses while ignoring the same exact things being done by people that they favorite. They play favorites too much in that sense. And yeah, I just generally won't support an organization like that when I can just donate directly to charity and not even have it touch their shitty hands. So yeah, I don't support GDQ for that reason. I can get way more into it. There's a lot more I can say, but I just really don't feel like getting super into it right now. But that's the gist of it. Daganir? Stop saying that. Final warning. Nobody likes somebody who spams stuff. A couple ways I can go about this, but I'm gonna pick this one. What? Did she just second turn a one-eyed shield dragon? What the fuck? Now that's rare. Isis played one-eyed shield dragon on the second turn. That's fucking insane. For anyone wondering, what Daganir said is not true. Time Wizard plus Dark Magician does not make anything. That is wrong. In the anime, I think it did something, but it certainly doesn't do anything here. Third turn Gruesome Goo. What the fuck? That's fucking epic. Epic, mate. As he says, so what is normally the farming route in Hundo if there is any single farm we beat the game ace up and also I shouldn't set a third? Pretty much the general route is get a good deck as quickly as possible. So right now I'm gonna try to get some Dragons and Thunders. After that, I'm going to worry about getting a trap so that I could start doing Atex. Do Atex to win Megamorphs and Bright Castles, Dragon Treasures, all that fun shit. Once I'm happy with my equip count, I will go over to Jono 2 to win Red Eyes Black Dragon. After I win that, I will go over to Meadow Mage to get MBDs. Once I have 2 to 3 MBDs, I'll go over to Hai Shin, farm there for Infinity. After that, I'm going to go over to Seto 3rd, farm there for Infinity. After that, I'm going to do a bunch of Atex, a lot against my Valentine, maybe a little bit against Nightmare for Final Flame and things like that, maybe a little bit against low Meadow Mage, potentially to get some Spellbinding Circles in order to fuse Shadow Spell, which will help me do Swords of Revealing Light, and then after that I will check what cards I have and what cards I don't have, and I'll do a little bit of cleanup. That's the general route. Ice water? What the fuck? Isn't that my 5th Wicked Dragon? Yeah, it is. Cool. Hate this game. So pretty much, too long didn't read of what I just said is get a good deck, farm Hai Shin, farm Seto 3rd, cleanup. That's the general route. In a nutshell, very quickly. What did I just do? Oh, I never selected the beast. I guess when I hit up on the D-pad, it didn't count it. That kind of sucks. I know that you don't play FM2, but it's that bad. In my opinion, yeah, I don't think it's a good mod at all. But I mean, you're allowed to like FM2 if you want. I personally just don't like it, so I won't play it. That's all. So you weren't farming Villager 1 to get Muin Curry specifically, you just happened to get it by chance? No, I was farming Villager 1 specifically to get Muin Curry. That's like one of those cards that you want to specifically get from him. But I didn't have to do it when I did it. I could have done it later on during the cleanup phase, but that's just when I choose to do it. But you don't have to do it then. You could do it during cleanup. There's a lot of stuff that you could choose to do at certain times or do it later, but yeah. Like I would say during my big route that I just gave, I could have said get Muin Curry from Villager 1, but you could do that whenever. It doesn't have to be done immediately. And I mean, there's a ton of cards. If I went through every single card that you got from every single person saying, okay, you gotta get this here, gotta get that there, I'd be here forever. But the general route is what I said. That's like all the big points of the route. You know what I mean? That's all the big points. There's a bunch of smaller points, but that's all the big stuff you need to worry about. What about Reimagined? I really enjoyed Reimagined. I would recommend giving... I don't know how it is now, to be fair. because I played Reimagined when it was still in beta, but since then there's been like 7 or 8 different updates released, and it's pretty much a totally different game now, because he's removed a bunch of cards, added a bunch of new cards, changed a lot of the AI. I don't know how it is now, so I can't really speak to it now, but when I played it, it was enjoyable. No, I don't think he's using a translator. I think he's just fucking around and trolling or something, honestly. Can I stop winning Wicked Dragon? I just won 2 Wicked Dragons in a row, and that's like the one dragon that I already have 3 of. Well, 6, to be quite honest. Pretty much, Drowsy. That's the general idea. The general idea in a hundo run is the first thing you need to do is get a powerful deck. That's the first thing. Like 3 Megamorph, 3 MBD, something like that. That's number 1. That's the first big part. The second and third big part is Heishin instead of third. And then after that, it's mostly just cleanup. But those are like the really big points in the run. There's small things that I could talk about, like, you know, Red Eyes from Jono 2, or Mui and Curry, you know, from Villager 1, Dark Piercing Light from Villager 1. Things like that. But there's so many of them that I'd be here forever. But those are the general route is what I said. Small peepee, I agree. The keyboard have cancer? It definitely does, because I feel like I'm getting it from your goddamn messages. Hello? Hello? What happened to the game? The fuck? My console is making bad noises. My console is making bad oh, there we go. Alright, that was interesting. My console was making not good noises. Yeah, time to save, I would say. That's a good idea. I need to get a new PlayStation 2. Yeah, my console is definitely on the way out. I've known this for a while now. I've known it for a while now. I've been saying for a little while that I need to get a new PS2 because this one is occasionally having problems like that. I've been saying it for months that I need to get a new PS2 at some point. I know why that happened too. I accidentally hit my foot against my desk, which shook the PS2 just a little bit. But if I shake the PS2 at all at this point, the disc like skips and fucks up for a second. So that's why it happened. How fun is this game? Pretty fun. But yeah, don't play it. Oh, not farming Meadow Mage, duh. 90% no minute, how many Megamorphs 2 people form? If you're talking about like world record strats, a lot of the time, none. Maybe they'll do like 1 A-Tech during campaign. Pray to God they win a Megamorph, but yeah, Megamorph is not a requirement at all in regular any percent runs at all. Megamorph is not a requirement. There's no set amount that people go for. Sometimes people don't go for it at all. Sometimes if people get a trap early, they'll do an A-Tech in campaign. But then again, it also depends on what kind of final time you're trying to get. If you're going for record or something or not. It really all depends on a lot of things. So the answer could literally be between 0 and 3. Yeah, lots of dragons, lots of thunders. No, people pretty much never go for MBD in any percent normal runs. That's typically not done. Like, Megamorph is sometimes gone for, but MBD is pretty much never farmed for in any percent, but you could, again. But there are, like, lots and lots of any percent runs that don't have Megamorph or MBD. So again, it depends on what you're aiming for your final time to be. It depends on that individual run, like what's happening during that individual run. It's depending on the runner. What's normally farmed on any percent no manip? Dragons, thunders, and regular equips like Dragon Treasure. Typically, like you'll do, you know, Isis BCD, what I'm doing here, to get dragons, to get Widespread Ruin, to get Dragon Treasure. And you can move on with any number of all of them. It just depends on the run and what time you're going for. If we're talking world record strats, then typically, if you're looking to get a world record in any percent no manip, then it's gonna look something like get a really decent starting deck, small farm against either Duel Master K or Rex, very small farm. Move on through the World Tournament, finish World Tournament. Pray to God that you win a trap before Pegasus, and then do an A-Tech against Pegasus in campaign. Pray to God you win something good. Then after that, do a very small Farm 2 phase. Either, you know, a lot of times you'll do Isis to get dragons. Pray to God you get a bunch of dragons, Dragon Treasure widespreads. Maybe you'll have time to do a single A-Tech on Pegasus, and then move on. Meadow Mage is pretty much you would never do in world record strats mostly. Yeah, that's generally the strats there. Feel free to go watch the No Manip record to get an idea of what I'm talking about if you want, though. Daganir, please stop being dumb. This is the final warning. Just stop being dumb. I don't know specifically what to tell you to stop doing, except for that. That is the closest thing I can think of to tell you to stop doing. It's just being dumb in general. Please, I'm begging you. Final warning. If you keep typing word salad in my chat, I will mix you like a bag of mixed greens, buddy. No, but I mean it. Please stop. Thank you. Yeah, I know. I don't know how else to word it. I don't know how to explain it. Just stop saying nonsensical things. I mean, I could go into someone else's chat and just start typing a bunch of words together that don't make any sense, which is called word salad. Just don't do that over and over again and you'll be good. The I word. Oh boy, he's coming, he's coming, he's coming. Oh, just kidding. He's not coming. Yeah, null value. Why can Skull Knight equip so much shit like Beast Fang? Seriously, it's a good question, Mike. It's a very good question. I don't know, but let's just praise the gods that it does take a lot of equips because it's very helpful that it does. You know what I mean? I don't know why, but it does, so let's enjoy it. What is the record of Forbidden Memories, no RNG minute, no 15 card mod? So just vanilla FM without RNG manipulation? It's under 3 hours. It is by Kanik, and it is 2 hours and 53 minutes. You can check the leaderboards, Chaos, if you ever want to know something like that. Guardian? What is with the easy mode ISIS lately? I feel like during this farm session, there's been like 3 or 4 duels that have been like ultra easy mode. Like very early in. It's weird. And then just goes back up. Why not, dude? I guess it happens. You can't fuse Spike Seeger with Thunder? No, you can. Drowsy, you can do Spike Seeger plus Thunder to make Twin-Headed. But you could also do Spike Seeger plus Spellcaster to make Kaminari attack, and then add a dragon onto that to make Twin-Headed. It's actually called Thunderless Twin-Headed Thunder Dragon, so you can make Twin-Headed Thunder Dragon without actually having a Thunder type. All you need is 2 dragons, a water, and a Spellcaster. Because then it's Dragon plus Water plus Spellcaster plus Dragon. We'll make a Twin-Headed without actually having a base Thunder. But, yeah, you can also just use Spike Seeger with the Thunder to make Twin-Headed immediately, if you have it. Will I ever do an RNG Manip run again? Yes, absolutely. Just not at the moment, because nobody else is running the category, and I have 0 competition. Wondering why you always go Spike Seeger, Carry-Shin, Twin-Headed instead of directly? Well, I don't always do that. If you see me doing extra fusions while I'm fighting, that's just because I need to make sure that I get a B rank. And how many fusions you do in a duel affects your rank. So during a duel against Isis, I need to do at least 5 fusions so that I can get a B rank. Unless I have, like, Regeki or I use my equip, which I don't have. If I use a magic, then it's different. But if I'm not using a magic, then I want to do at least 5 fusions. So I'll do a couple extra fusions here and there to get to that number by the end. So for example, I could just do this right now. But I'm not because I want to get extra fusions, so I'm going to do this. So I can make sure I get the rank I want. Yeah, BCD rank is required here, because BCD is the only way you can win. That's interesting. Nice graphical glitch. But BCD is the only way you can win Dragon Treasure and Widespread Ruin against Isis. So if I got an A rank or an S rank, then I would have no chance to win Dragon Treasure or Widespread Ruin, and I really want those cards. So I have to get B rank. Or C rank, or D rank, doesn't matter which one. So that's a graphical glitch that happens. Pretty much the game just occasionally will get confused as to what, you know how when you attack, it shows like the full art of a card? Every now and again the game will get confused on what art it's supposed to show there. So it will sometimes combine the last card it showed with the card it should be showing right now. So for example, I just attacked with a Twin-Headed. So the last card on the screen was Twin-Headed. If I was to attack with this Cursive Dragon and the graphical glitch happened, it would make some weird combination of Cursive Dragon and Twin-Headed. Typically, it only happens if you play on a console, and it seems like it has to do with how beat up your disc is or how beat up your console is. But like I said, it only happens if you play on console, and it seems to happen a lot more often when you play on a PlayStation 2 with fast disk speed turned on, which is what I'm playing on. But yeah, PS2 with FPS turned on seems to make it happen a lot more often than anything else. It's still possible to happen without playing on a PS2 with FPS. I've never really seen it happen on emulator, but it definitely happens on console, but a lot more often with PS2 FPS. But it doesn't actually, it's just a graphical glitch, so it doesn't actually affect anything as far as the game goes. So, like, it's purely graphical, so it doesn't actually change, like, the stats of a card or anything like that. It might show different stats or something for a moment, but it doesn't actually change how the card works or anything like that. It's literally exactly the same, except for the graphics at that particular moment. On-screen chat's broken? Epic. I love it when that happens. It's my favorite. Well, it was nice having the purple. Wonder what color we'll get now. Oh, I like that color. It's okay. I'll take it. Also, if you're wondering why I'm occasionally playing Regeki face down, it's again just to lower the rank a little bit more because face down cards lower rank. Yes, Drowsy, all starting decks will have either Regeki or Dark Hole. It's a 50-50, exactly, between the two. Alright, I'm gonna play for a tiny bit longer, and then I'm gonna stop. Maybe like 5 more duels, so I'll stop at 35. I believe I was at 30 duels there. So I'll stop at like fucking 35. Or something. Yo, what's poppin'? BNN? Go talk to Tato for a while? He's so alone. No. I'm gonna do 5 more duels and then I'm going to leave. Can you get any equipped bar megamorph in the starting deck? No. You also cannot get Bright Castle. Metal Morph is technically an equip and you cannot start with that either. Doesn't really work like an equip, but you know what I mean. Yeah. But no, you can't just start with any equip. There's a few that you can't. Show me. Yeah, Elegant Egotist, that's another one. Yeah, everything's alright. I'm just pretty nauseous. I didn't think I was even going to be able to stream because I was really nauseous when I started, but I'm definitely less nauseous now. But, yeah. I streamed for a lot longer than I thought I was. I thought I was going to stream for like an hour, and then I was going to be like, okay guys, that's it. I'm not feeling well. But I managed to stream for like 2.5 hours, which is pretty good. And I'm going to do, 4 more duels after this one, so even longer. Correct, Drowsy. The game picks randomly from a set of pools. So there's a bunch of, like, lists of cards, right? Pool 1 will be this list of cards. Pool 2 is this list. And the game will pick, okay, the game will pick, there is a set formula for it, so it's like, the game will always pick, 6 cards from pool number 1. 5 cards from pool number 2, and so on and so forth. For example, the final pool, pool number 8, is, I believe, the final pool has 2 cards in it on the list, and it's Regeki and Dark Hole, and each one has a 50-50 chance, and you only get 1 card from that pool. and then there's a bunch of other pools. That's how that works. I did not see that, Nate. I'll have to go back and look at it. Are there any trap cards in the pools? No. There's a bunch of monsters, and then there is a pool for a field card. Then there's a pool for an equip card, and then there's a pool for either Regeki or Dark Hole. So every starting deck is going to have either Regeki or Dark Hole. Every starting deck is going to have one field card, and every starting deck is going to have one equip out of a certain pool of equips. And then the remaining 37 cards will always be monsters. Every time. Oh, okay, Nate. That's probably why I haven't seen it. I'll definitely check it out. These draws are pretty bad. Yeah, definitely wasn't FM Thunder Daniel. Unless it was a mod of FM. There are mods of FM where you can start with House of Adhesive Tape, but not the regular game, no. What's poppin', Feng? How you doing? I'm gonna get swords, and it's gonna suck. Hell yeah. Yeah, it was probably definitely a different game then. Ready for the swords? Please be spellbinding. Or nothing, that works too. I'm gonna YOLO it. Nice. Lucky YOLO. Don't attack, and don't play that face down magic. Don't attack, don't play the face down magic. Don't attack, don't play the fit. Nice. Something good, please? Fuck you. Yes, Widespread Ruin is a drop from BCD Isis, that is correct. The main things that she has on BCD, and only on BCD, is Widespread Ruin and Dragon Treasure. Are fairies good for any fusions? Eh, not really. They're good for some early game stuff, like Dark Witch. That's really it. Definitely nothing mid to late game. How long do I plan on keeping on streaming for today? 3 more duels. Duel number 35 will be the final duel. Feeling well, thanks. Wanted to say I'm a fan. Enjoy your content. Thank you for the content. I really appreciate that, Fang. Garvis take fairies or the air marmots? Garvis takes a lot of things with wings, but not everything with wings. But that's the main requirement. So there's a bunch of fairies that have wings, like Happy Lover, that can make Garvis. But then there's also weird ones like Fusionist, which is a beast. That can also make Garvis. Air Marmot cannot. But Fusionist is the only beast that will fuse with another beast to make Garvis. You can also do something like Ancient Brain, which is a fiend that has wings on it, and that will also make Garvis, surprisingly enough. Of all old Yu-Gi-Oh games, why this one? Because I like this one. And I've been speedrunning this one since 2013. And it's just so happened to be the one that I discovered back in 2013. If I had discovered a different Yu-Gi-Oh game in 2013 and I started playing it and I liked it this much back then I would probably be playing whatever that game would have been. But it just so happened to be this one. So here we are. No problem. Man's not prop. Alright, I believe this is duel number 34. So 2 more duels. Duel number 35 will be the last one. Once I have 35 wins, I am done for today. Most likely do more tomorrow. If I wake up in time. Lol. I know I could have ended it there. Oops. I could just end it here, actually, yeah. Never mind. Could be a B rank. I think I did enough fusions. It's at least 1, 2. I don't know. Might be. Yeah, good. Alright, was that 34 or 35? 34. Alright, last duel. Last duel, and then we are done. And then I'm gonna go eat and try to sleep, even though my stomach hurts like a fucker. I am nauseous as fuck, boy. You and the fucking puns up, Hellpen. Jesus H. Christ. What's for dinner? Gas station sandwich. Fuck boy. Yo, what's poppin', Shiny? How you doing, dude? You're looking very shiny today. Yeah, yeah. Gas station sandwich makes it sound worse than it actually is. It's actually really good. It just so happens to be purchased from a gas station. But it's like one of those big chains that has actually good food. It's a spicy Italian sub sandwich. Or hoagie, depending on where you come from. Stuck in my house, the usual. Yeah, bro, it just be like that, man. Yes, I'm from the United States. Alright, this is the last duel. Unless it's an APOW. If it's an APOW, I'll do one more BCD. But it'll probably be BCD. Nice. We're ending it on a decent drop at least. That's good. Ending the stream on a decent drop for once. Is that... Yeah, that was 2 in a row. 2 black ones in a row. We're doing pretty good on dragons now. That was, what, 9? With the crawling... Yeah, 9 with the crawling dragon. We really need thunders, though. Jesus H. Christ. The good thing is that I could literally buy, like, 6 or 7 thunders right now with all the star chips I have, so we'll be okay. We'll be A-okay. So... Actually, yeah, we're probably done with Isis as of now. Let me just buy the thunders while I'm here. Open up my code list. Alright, let me buy these here thundies real quick. I'm gonna buy the 35 and the 40. Alright, we're good. Yo, Feng, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. I really appreciate that. Damn, thank you so much. You guys are way too generous. Thank you so much, guys. That's awesome. Thank you. Alright, so we just bought, what, 6 thunders? So, in addition to the 2 I have, that is 8. So we are now at 9 dragons and 8 thunders, which is, beautiful. That is exactly what we need. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Alright. This deck is definitely shaping up. Looking good, looking good. And we'll call it there. Let me actually save this shit for once. So edit splits. Let me just do this real quick. I want to actually save my splits so that I don't have to go back and watch the end of the stream tomorrow to find out what I ended my timer at and then set it then, and my splits just crashed, didn't they? There's a good chance. Nope. Nope, they're here. Sweet. Alright, 6... 39 37.38 639 37.38. Okay. Okay, and then we reset it, which brings it back to there. And then I'm gonna actually save these goddamn splits on my regular desktop, and I'm gonna save it as Hundo as my split file. Good. And now we are gonna right click. We're going to save layout as Hundo layout. Save. Good. My splits are actually saved. Sweet. Alright, that's it for me, chat. I gotta piss really bad. I don't know if you've noticed, but for the past like 10 minutes I've kind of been shaking a little bit, kind of fidgety. That's because I have to piss. But see, the issue, right, is that my stomach is really nauseous and it hurts really bad. So me shaking this much is actually hurting my stomach even more. So I gotta go piss so that I don't make myself fucking vomit from the car ride that is my fucking life right now. Alright, Cool. So guys, thanks so much for watching. Thanks for all the support. The $10 super chats, there were like 2 of them. There was a $10 donation. You guys are fucking awesome, and I love you so much. I want to kiss each and every one of you on the lips, except for that one guy who kept saying word salad. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I will most likely be back tomorrow. I love you all, and I will see you then. Bye-bye.